This weekend is of course the final race of the 2020 NASCAR season, as well as the final race for legend Jimmie Johnson. As someone who's been a Johnson fan ever since I started watching NASCAR back in 2011, I used to be real excited for the races every weekend, hoping to see Jimmie win well. Fast forward 9 years later, this will be the last chance I will get to do that. So today, I decided to go over my top 5 favorite Jimmie Johnson wins. Now to be clear, most of these wins that I'll be talking about in this video will be ones that I actually got to see on TV live starting from mid-2011. So, let's get into this. Kicking off the list at number 5 is the 2014 Coca-Cola 600. Of course, the biggest headline that offseason was the new chase grid system, where you have to win or be in the top 16 in points to compete for a championship. And the question many people had at the time was, how was Jimmie going to adapt to this new system? Johnson, for the most part, ran very well during the early part of the season, however was never able to get that ever so important win. This led to many news articles coming out with the question, why hasn't the at the time 6-time champion won this season yet, with some even doubting that he would even win. But once Memorial Day weekend arrived with the 48 car on the pole, all eyes were on Jimmie and the Lowe's crew. As per usual, Johnson ran well, but going into the final laps of the race, the 48 car was moving, and by 10 to go, he was right behind Matt Kenseth.
And Johnson is there, 2/10 quicker the last lap.
Oh, he got a nice run off. Jimmie Johnson got a nice run off turn 2, and he likes the bottom. Whoa!
Kenseth to block.
Oh my gosh!
Johnson forces the issue into turn 3.
That was a little bit more than a block.
But I think that just goes to show you how much these two guys want to win this race.
Shows me how much that one wants that other guy not to win this race.
White flag. Jimmie Johnson, the last to win the Coca-Cola 600 from the pole, and that a decade ago.
Well, this used to be Jimmie Johnson's house, and then they repaved the joint and it got away from him, but looks like they got it back tonight. This is Johnson's 7th win here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
First win of 2014 for Jimmie Johnson, Chad Knaus, and the Lowe's Chevrolet.
Well done, Jimmie. Well done, buddy. Did a great job today. Thank you for all your hard work and your patience.
This would be Jimmie's 4th and final Coca-Cola 600 win and snapping the 13-race-long winless streak. Personally, I was of course extremely happy and relieved that Jimmie won that night. I was actually getting pretty impatient of the fact that he didn't win up until that point. And looking back, a 13-race winless streak was absolutely nothing compared to nowadays. At number 4 is both the Daytona 500 and Firecracker 400 in 2013. This is kinda cheating and including 2 races at once, but I don't really care. Being a Johnson fan in 2012 was great, except at the super speedways, with the 48 ranking at both Daytona and Talladega races that year. So going into the 2013 500, I didn't really know what to expect, and to be honest, I would have been just happy if Johnson just finished the race. Fortunately, to my surprise, Johnson was up front for most of the day and stayed out of harm's way. During the closing laps, I was getting pretty excited, but at the same time also nervous, with Biffle right behind him in the catbird seat.
It's a race. And oh, by the way, it's not over. It's just now on.
Daryl, keep an eye on Daryl.
Oh, car in the wall, hard. Turn 1. And it's one of the BK cars. It's the 93 of Travis Quapple. No caution. NASCAR, if the track is clear, they will let them finish. We are still green. And here come the leaders.
Yeah, Mark Martin is really pushing Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 88.
Junior to the inside of Greg Biffle. The green flag still flies. Martin's number 55. Keselowski in the 2. Biffle backing up. Patrick behind him. For the 2nd time, the Daytona 500 goes to Jimmie Johnson, 5-time champion for Sonoma, California, and his Rick Hendricks Chevrolet.
He can thank Dale Jr. for that. 2nd year, Dale Jr. has come late and
This will be Johnson's 2nd and final Daytona 500 win, becoming the first driver to win in the brand new Gen 6 car. Then we have the July race. Despite the aforementioned 500 win and the top 10 run at Talladega, I still just hoped Johnson would make it to the end. Turns out the 48 car dominated the entire race, leading 94 of the 160 laps.
You gotta get wide. White flag is out. Next flag will decide it.
Wow.
Tony Stewart feeling good, and how about Kurt Busch in that outside lane with help from David Gilmour?
Oh, here we go.
We got trouble.
There we go. That's it. Like I said, you lead at the white. That's it. You're good to go. But they may
No
race to the
caution
finish.
yet. They're going to let them race back here. That happened over in turn 2, so they got plenty of room.
Wow. Right. Let them race, boys. Hopefully they're cleared when they get back down there.
Tony Stewart won this race last year. He's won it 4
29,
times.
shoving the 14. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but
Through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Off the corner, here comes Jimmie Johnson. He's dominated the race. Now he can see the finish line. That's Busch in the outside lane, not making a move.
Oh,
trouble behind him.
Danica.
Danica and others. Jimmie Johnson gets the win at Daytona.
Yeah, she got turned right there.
This one will make Johnson only the 5th driver to win the Daytona 500 and Firecracker 400 in the same year. At number 3 is the 2011 Hollywood Casino 400. Now you may be saying, what's so special about this race? Well, it's actually the first Johnson one I saw on TV. The first race I saw on TV was that year's Bristol night race, where Johnson finished 4th, and in the next week in Atlanta, he finished 2nd after a battle of the ages with Jeff Gordon. To start off the chase, I was of course hoping to see Jimmie win for the first time, but surprisingly, Johnson struggled. He ran out of gas in Chicago, and an 18th at Loudon put Johnson in the shocking 10th place in the chase standings. A run-out finish in Dover helped ease the pain, and going into Kansas, Johnson needed a good run to keep him inside the chase picture. Johnson ended up dominating the race and looked like he had the race in hand. Until a last-minute caution came out to force a last-second restart with my new NASCAR mind on the edge of my seat.
Shootout, green-white checker. Johnson gets away from Kane on the restart. Tony Stewart all the way to the bottom looking for spots. No place to go there. That's Dale Jr. wiggling around.
With contact in the back, Austin Dillon out of shape, Joey Logano with a tire rub.
Coming to the white flag. One more lap to go. Casey Kane.
White flag.
Got 2 car legs to make up. Then got to try and find a way around Jimmie Johnson. He's coming hard right here.
Got a big run down the back straightaway.
Remember Carl Edwards' final corner try that Johnson held off a few years ago. Coming to the checkered flag. No such run for Casey Kane this time. Jimmie Johnson goes to the top of the stack at Kansas, scores his 2nd win of the season. While they scramble to the checkered flag behind him. Wow.
This would rocket Johnson up to 3rd in the chase standings, keeping his title hopes alive. Until wrecking out at Charlotte and Talladega that all but took him out of the championship, but we're going to forget that happened. And number 2 is the 2012 Southern 500. The aforementioned Kansas one ended up being Hendrick's 199th win, only a single one away from number 200. Johnson and his other Hendrick teammates came very close many times to get win number 200, with probably the most frustrating one being the Martinsville Spring Race in 2012, thanks to David Ruderman not knowing how to get on pit road and some person making it 3 wide going into turn number 1, and no, I'm still not over it. Going into Mother's Day weekend at Darlington, Johnson started 2nd and led for most of the night. While I was happy to see that, I was just hoping nothing was going to go wrong. Until the yellow came out. Not gonna lie, the final restart was probably one of the most anxious moments I've ever had as a NASCAR fan. Plus, with the fact Johnson had to save fuel only added more anxious thoughts to my mind.
Feel real good about that happening.
Headed for the restart zone.
Here we
Green
go.
flag. And Johnson's on it. Stewart's going to have to deal with Hamlin into the corner. And Truex right there with Kyle Busch. 3 wide into the corner. Ambrose makes a 3 wide pass into turn 1 as Jimmie Johnson scoots away.
And Denny Hamlin in at 11 got a great run off turn 2. He takes the 2nd spot away.
I think Tony may have had a little problem on that getting through the gears, Larry.
Stewart sits 3rd. The battle right behind him. Kyle Busch settles in front of Truex. White flag, 1 to go.
Got enough gas to make it?
Oh, yeah, we're in good shape on gas.
He'll make it around, but will he get there first?
Oh, yeah, he's got a nice, he's got a comfortable lead. He's in good shape.
Jimmie Johnson sails off into turn 3. Hamlin is going to have to deal with Stewart for 2nd. Hendrick Motorsports 200 Sprint Cup victory belongs to Jimmie Johnson in the Southern 500.
There you go, Mr. Rick. Got you one.
Finally, Jimmie Johnson and Hendrick Motorsports get win number 200. It was not only a great moment for Johnson, but for all of Hendrick Motorsports. I definitely went to bed that night with happy dreams. Now before I get to number 1, here's some quick honorable mentions. The 2004 Bass Pro Shops 500. I wasn't old enough to see this happen, but this was still one of the most emotional wins in NASCAR history. Of course, this came just a week after Hendrick Motorsports' plane crashed, killing all on board. And to honor said victims, Johnson and all the other Hendrick cars carried a message of "Always in our hearts" on the hood.
Control.
One more time, one more lap, one more. White flag is up. Final lap in Atlanta. Jimmie Johnson leading Mark Martin.
Actually, they're a little bit better this time, Jimmie Johnson, but still gained on him just a touch. But Johnson's got it. I mean, unless he makes a big mistake in 3 and 4, car can't go.
This could be 3 in a row for that 48 car.
Buddy, come on, bring it home. Bring it home. Jimmy, don't do any burnouts, buddy.
The emotions of the victory for Jimmie Johnson. He wins in Atlanta for Hendrick Motorsports.
That's good stuff.
And loving memory all the way.
One more thing.
Nothing.
In loving memory all the way. Jimmie Johnson with his 7th victory of the season. After a terrible 7 days. But now Hendrick Motorsports.
The adrenaline comes down and the emotion hits.
The 2012 Brickyard 400. If I can remember correctly, we had a friend of mine over watching part of the race with me, which is always pretty cool to see. And plus, this race happened the day after my birthday, so I guess this can count as a late birthday present for me.
Such a tremendous feeling to know that you and your team have put it all together. You show up for the big races, you know you have one chance a year to get it all done, Andy, and this team is there.
They've executed well all day long. It's paying off here on this last lap. One thing I love about Jimmie Johnson, though, is it never gets old. It'll be just like he won his first Brickyard race.
Johnson said you come through the tunnel and history starts talking to you, and he's so happy to have had 3 special moments for himself at this track. Said, I hope to have a 4th. His hero, Rick Mears, won the Indianapolis 500 4 times. They've got something to talk about. As Johnson clears the final corner and the checkered flag is in the air. A 4th win in the Brickyard 400 to Jimmie Johnson.
The 2002 Auto Club 500. This was another one I wasn't around to see, but it's still really cool looking back to see Jimmie get his first win in his rookie year in his home track nevertheless.
To win a Winston Cup race for Rick Hendrick.
If that thing doesn't quit running on him, he's got it made. Well, watch Kurt Busch drive it off in this end of the corner. Picks up about 3 car lengths. Jimmie Johnson eases back to that throttle.
Jimmie Johnson off turn 4, 6th in points, leading rookie on the tour, and he's going to win his 13th start.
Here before a hometown crowd of his. These fans are going crazy. They love it.
Here we go. Walk that thing. Dog walk it down through there. Give me some more smoke. Oh, let her go.
And lastly, the 2012 FedEx 400. Being a dumb kid at the time, I was always obsessed with whatever animated movie was new at the time, which of course included Madagascar 3. And when I first saw Jimmie was running a Madagascar car, my face pretty much went. The cheer on top for me was when Jimmie won, making my adolescent mind explode.
3 Chevys, a Ford, and a Toyota in the top 5. Winner at Darlington, 8th on the all-time win list, 7th Dover win, tying Richard Petty and Bobby Allison for most here. Jimmie Johnson wins the FedEx 400, benefiting Autism Speaks, his 57th career win.
Wonderful, wonderful job, everybody. Jimmie, you whipped them today, man.
And finally, number 1 is the 2016 Ford EcoBoost 400. Of course, I had to put this race at number 1. It was not just the fact Jimmie won number 7, but also the weeks and days leading up to this. I remember right after Jimmie won Martinsville, I excitedly told all my friends and family that my driver, my hero, had a chance of making history. Despite having tough competition in Carl Edwards, Joey Logano, and especially Kyle Busch, I was still confident Jimmie would win. In fact, I remember a night before, I made a video for my friend with me saying at the end of the video, "Go Jimmie Johnson." And no, I'm not going to show it because I don't know where the video went. Well, going into race day, a wrench was already thrown to the 48 car, with the team failing pre-race inspection, making Jimmie start in the back. Even after Jimmie started to move back up, the car was not ideal at all, and Johnson usually ran 4th out of the Ford Championship drivers. Going into the final 20 laps, I was actually starting to lose hope. Starting to accept the fact that Edwards would win the title, and started to think about the possibilities of next year. But a yellow came out, and when that yellow came out, I knew for a fact Jimmie had a shot. And then the green flag came out.
Carl Edwards on the inside. Green flag back in the air. They're blocking. Good go down. Big hits by the 19, and the caution comes back out again.
While I did feel extremely bad for Edwards and wanted him to win next year, because yeah, that totally aged well, I then looked back to the TV and saw Jimmie was ahead of all the other championship drivers. Once the green flag came back out, I was just hoping for the race to stay green all the way, but yellows kept coming out with a fast-charging Joey Logano right behind him with fresh tires. The final restart for this race was by far the most anxious I have ever been as a NASCAR fan. I mean, it made the Darlington race look like breakfast. That's how nervous I was.
Great restarts by both the 48 and the 22. Kyle Larson drops back to second, but he fights back on the outside. Here comes the 4. Kevin Harvick racing that 22 hard.
Come on, baby. Come on.
Jimmie Johnson out front. They've passed the overtime line.
You know, half lane higher.
Larson looking to the high side. This time
He runs
by.
that perfect lap.
White flag in the air. One more time around from Miami. Jimmie Johnson has never won at Homestead Miami Speedway, but he's never been in a position where he's had to win for a championship. Down the backstretch he goes. A half a lap away from the championship. Jimmie Johnson through 3 and 4. Make room. Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. There's another 7-time champ. Jimmie Johnson wins his 7th NASCAR Sprint Cup championship.
You are looking at 7-time champion, Sprint NASCAR champion, Jimmie Johnson.
And it happened. He did it. Jimmie won title number 7, cementing him as one of, if not the best driver in all of NASCAR. Even if you're not a fan of Jimmie, you still need to respect for what he's done to the sport and how he's able to win no matter the circumstances. Moments like this are moments we may never see again. Jimmie, if you're somehow watching, I just want to say, thank you for getting me into this awesome sport. Thank you for giving me memories and moments that will last a lifetime. And thank you for making me and millions of other fans happy and better people. Good luck tomorrow in Phoenix, and I hope you enjoy retirement as well as your time in IndyCar next year. Thank you for watching.